All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Cincinnati. And semi-final number 2 is about to begin. We've had a bit of a delay because of the rain. It poured rain after that, after the Sinner match. So we're lucky that it stopped just in time for us to get this match started. So, yeah, it was crazy rain. But now we are ready. We're ready to go. Hopefully it doesn't rain anymore. It could rain later. There's chances that it could rain tonight, but hopefully we get through this. Zverev taking on Alcaraz, winner plays Sinner on Monday. 6-5 is the head-to-head in favor of Zverev, which is a little bit surprising because Alcaraz has been so good against Sinner and leading his head-to-head, but not against Zverev. Zverev has the lead. Zverev did win. And also, you might be thinking, oh, well, Zverev won all their first matches when Alcaraz wasn't even ready. No, that actually is not the case. Zverev did win their first match in 2021, but in 2022 and throughout 2024 and late 23, Zverev was winning a lot of matches. They've kind of gone a couple of matches, either like 2 matches to you, 2 to you, 1 to you, 2 to you, 1, They've alternated. It's not been dominant at all. It's been a very 50-50. So, first match, Zverev won in 2021 in Vienna. Then Alcaraz won in Madrid. And then, of course, that French Open match in 2022 where Zverev got the win when no one expected Zverev to win. Then Madrid again in 2023 after Zverev got injured in 2022 and didn't play. Alcaraz got that win. Then Alcaraz won at the US Open in 2023. And then in 2023 end-of-year finals, it was Zverev who got the win. Australian Open last year, Zverev got the win. Indian Wells, it went back to Alcaraz. French Open final, of course, Alcaraz won that. And then last year, Zverev won their to be finals match. So, very interesting head-to-head these guys. It's weird because you would think that, again, because of Alcaraz's game and matchup against Sinner, you would think, well, why does he struggle against Zverev? But Zverev doesn't fear Alcaraz as much, but also Alcaraz does give a lot more chances than what Sinner does these days. But Zverev's also been very competitive against Sinner as well in the time. So, yeah, very interesting. Oh, sorry, I got the seeds mixed up. My bad. Yeah, so winner of this will play Sinner. So let's see what happens. Let's see how this plays. There was word that Zverev was not feeling well. So we will see if that is the case. He wasn't feeling great. He didn't look great against Shelton, even though he won easily. He didn't look great. So there was that as well. So we'll see. We'll see whether or not he does well or does rebound here. And if he can get up for this match. If Zverev wins, can he go up to number 2? Let me have a look. So I think the seeds are set. So yeah, Zverev can't be number 2 no matter what happens. The seeds are locked on the men's side, but on the women's side, there's obviously opportunity for Swiatek to get to number 2. And Rebecca and Paolini could lift. But on the men's side, doesn't matter what happens. Zverev will stay number 3. Alcaraz number 2 going to New York. And Sinner number 1. This will start in like 3 minutes. Alcaraz about to walk out on court. They're just about to get things going. Zverev heard he's back in the warm-up. What, in the warm-up of yesterday's match? That's scary. That is scary. All right, here we go. Players ready to walk out on court. Oh, chat. Here we go. This is. I mean, you could tell me this was the US Open, and I'd believe you. Like, this is big. This is a big match. Winner plays the number 1. It doesn't feel like we get these sort of matches much these days because it's not as back in 5-6 years ago, 10 years ago, we used to get the top 4 players playing in every semi-final they played. But these days, I don't feel like we get that as much. The consistency and maybe more so the level of tennis from outside the top 10 is so high that it's not, the gap isn't as large, but we get it now. 2 versus 3, winner plays 1. I don't know if we've had that this year, to be honest. I can't think of a time we've had that, where 2 versus 3, winner plays the best. Yeah. So enjoy it. It's rare. It's rare. Doesn't get much better than, 2 versus 3, winner plays number 1. That's it. That's it. We've had a lot on the women's side. Sabalenka, Swiatek, winner plays Gauff. Like, we've had a lot of that, but not on the men's side. It's much less common. All right. So apparently Zverev has had back issues in the practice today. That seems to be the word on the internet. So we'll see what's up. So that'll affect his serve. So let's see whether or not Zverev's serve works. And more importantly, let's see if Zverev plays the whole match. Because if he's got a back problem or back issues, then he's not going to want to play a 3-hour intense match, if he's not feeling good. All right. All right. Back problems. That's why gambling sites are saying Carlos is a favorite. Yeah, I mean, but even yesterday when he played Shelton, he didn't look like Zverev did look fatigued as well. So maybe both. But yeah, word on the street is that Zverev did not practice today, or didn't have he pulled out after 10 minutes of practicing because of a back problem. So, so that definitely changes things. But also, let's see, maybe he pulled out, maybe he thought, oh, my back, and then he stopped practicing, but got it fixed. So we'll keep an eye on him. We'll definitely keep an eye on the early games here for Zverev, especially on serve. The serve will be the big one. All right. Here we go. Remember, the winner of this match plays on Monday against Sinner. All right, Alcaraz won the toss and elected to receive. And Zverev said, I want to go down the end that you're standing. So they're going to change ends. Alcaraz, so Zverev will serve first. So we'll find out real quick what his back looks like and how his back might be feeling. All right, a lot of photos. And here we go. You think if Alcaraz has knowledge on this, he can be shooting things to the corners and stretching him out. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. If Alcaraz knows that, and I'm sure he would, because, I mean, it's public knowledge, I guess, or it's at least, there's no way that, like, even if someone in his team would have heard it and gone, okay, he might not be feeling great, which doesn't mean you should play, it means you should be playing more aggressive. But the problem with Alcaraz is how we've seen him, when he plays someone that doesn't look like they're 100%, he sometimes doesn't go for the kill. We saw that against Djokovic in Australia. So he needs to make sure that even if Zverev doesn't look or feel 100%, he's still got to play like he is. Even more so, maybe more aggressive, So nothing should really change. He should still be aggressive, but yeah, testing out Zverev's fitness is definitely part of the... but then again, he would have already had that plan because, again, Zverev didn't look great against Shelton. So, I'm sure the game was, okay, let's push him around. Let's see how... Let's test him out early and try and make him move and see what we get out of that. But for Zverev, I think with a back problem, the serve will be the interesting shot to keep an eye on. Let's see how he serves. Let's see if he's trying to go for big serves because he doesn't want to, play long rallies. If he's got a back issue, or if he's, obviously if he double faults a lot, that's, we can maybe connect some dots. Catching the action from Texas. What's up? Alcaraz in straight sets, you reckon? Okay. All right. Zverev has not lost a set all week. Very impressive. He's beaten Perseveredi, Nakashima, Hashanov, and Shelton. He has not dropped a set yet. Not even look like dropping a set. And the winner will play Sinner on Monday. So the winner of this match gets a day off. The ladies' semis are tomorrow. We've got Swiatek, Raducanu, followed by Palini and Kudermetova. So a bit of an interesting lineup. 3 top 10 players and a former top 10 player in the lineup. So should be very competitive. And then they will play on Monday as well. Who has had a better career, Team or Zverev? Team. Easy question. Easy answer. Dominic Thiem. Zverev deserves at least one Grand Slam. Well, yeah, I think we all think that, but he might deserve one, but he's got to win one. Doesn't matter. You don't give him out for free. You don't get charity. You got to win it. What if he won a slam? If Zverev won a slam, he would have a better career, hands down, easily. But the Grand Slam makes the difference. I'd rather be Dominic Thiem with a slam than Zverev without one. Easy. The slam makes the difference. But then if they both got one, you'd go Zverev because Zverev's got way more, way more stuff going on. Like he's got a gold medal, he's got multiple 1,000 titles, he's got ATP Finals trophies. Like then you'd pick Zverev, but yeah, I'd cash all of those things in for one Grand Slam, and I'm sure Zverev would as well. He'd be like, yeah, you can take all this back, and I'll take a slam. All right, here we go. They're warming up the serves. And then we're going to get started. Zverev has to be the best player ever not to win a slam. I think he is, yeah. I think currently he leads that list. I think unfortunately he's got that. He's holding that mantle at the moment, but eventually, he wins one and then he's out of that conversation. Roddick over Thiem? Oh yeah, you'd pick Andy Roddick's career over Dominic Thiem, obviously. That's not even a question. Because Thiem has had, Roddick's had a Hall of Fame career. Thiem might make the Hall of Fame, but it depends on. It's very rare that a Hall of Famer is someone that's not number one and has a slam. You kind of have to have both of those things to be a Hall of Famer, but there are players that don't have both of those, and they do have made it in. Goran being one of them. So the Thiem could be a Hall of Famer, but it's not guaranteed, whereas Roddick, you take number one in Grand Slam hands down. Plus multiple finals, and multiple 1,000s and all that. Roddick's career easily over a Thiem. Why are Grand Slams considered bigger than the ATP Finals when players only have a chance to win the ATP Finals in a year and more points rewarded, tougher opponents? Because Grand Slams are harder to win. Yeah, okay, but like if we're going off that, then why are the Olympics not the most impossible thing? Like the Olympics are not that. The Olympics would be the hardest. Like it might be the hardest thing to win, but it's not the most. Like it's not what they play for. You know, like if we're going by like rarity and toughness to like opponents, you'd say Olympics once every 4 years you get like 3 chances in your career if you're lucky. ATP finals, it depends on how you do throughout the year. And then it would be Grand Slams, but that's not how it works. All right, I'm going to go Alcaraz in 3. 15 love. Zverev serving first. Let's see how he looks. Let's see how he goes. Name worst player to have won a slam? Nah. Let's not, because that's a negative. That's negative. And that's such a stupid thing to say. Who's the worst player to win a slam? Yeah. One more than everybody else. 15 love. And we're serving out the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand of Zverev. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Zverev with a forehand of the stretch. Can't get it. 15-0. 15-0. Serve again from Zverev. Into the forehand of Alcaraz, but he can't get it back. Winning a slam is hard. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, winning a slam, you got to win for the men's side. You got to win 7 matches, best of 5, against the best players on the planet. And yeah, you might get like more chances to play slams. Let's say you get 30 chances if you're lucky in your career to play slams, right? You get 30 slam chances if you're really good, right? But you still got to play you got to play a lot of tennis. You got to play all the best players. You got like everyone's out to yeah. I mean, it's why slams are more prestigious than 1,000 trophies. I mean, yeah. They're just a big deal. Zverev holds 1 love. So you agree Medvedev had a better career than Thiem? Yes. Medvedev's had a better career than Thiem, yeah. World number 1, Grand Slam champion, ATP finals, multiple 1000s. Medvedev's a Hall of Famer. Like he will be in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, easy. Medvedev over Thiem, for sure. All right, 1 love. Good start for Zverev. Again, we're just seeing whether or not there is any sort of injury issue. We'll see what's up with Zverev. All right, Alcaraz serves. A fault from Alcaraz, second serve. All right, 15 love. Was it a forehand from Zverev down the line? The backhand slice of Alcaraz. Zverev with the forehand again. The slice of Alcaraz. Alcaraz hits it long. 15-0. As Alcaraz serves. Fault. Second serve. As return goes in the forehand of Alcaraz. But Alcaraz overhits it. 15-30. Alcaraz throwing in errors to start this match. 15-30. There's a bit of serve again from Carlos. As the return goes in, the front of Alcaraz backing out from Zverev, lobbed. And long, 30-0. All right, 30-0. As Alcaraz serves massive out wide, 40-30. Serve again to level this first set. As the backhand return goes out, and it's 1-1. Alcaraz holds. This is the time to win a major before Sinner and Alcaraz and whoever start the next reign. I mean, I don't know about that. It feels like there has been zero time between Nadal, Djokovic, and Alcaraz Sinner. Like, there's been no opportunities. You know what? That's not true. 2022, maybe there was an opportunity. Maybe, because Nadal, yeah, he won the Australian Open, but it was very close. And then US Open that year was open because Djokovic wasn't allowed to play and Nadal lost, and nobody else had, we had Medvedev, but nobody else had, Alcaraz hadn't won one yet. Wimbledon that year was still Djokovic's on lock. So maybe 2022 was an opportunity for everybody. But, yeah, it might be easier than playing Federer, Nadal, Djokovic to win a slam now, but still got to beat Sinner and Alcaraz. 15-0. I mean, you could say the same, though, but with Sampras and Federer, like the transition between those guys, but then you still had Agassi in the middle of doing, on both sides of that. But, the early, from 2000 to 2003, there was a lot more opportunities. A lot more players won their slams or won one or two slams between 2000 and 2004. Sampras was, by the time we got to 2000, Sampras was sort of not doing as much. Agassi was still very much around, but Federer hadn't started yet. Nadal was nowhere to be seen, so you had Safin and Hewitt and Roddick and, all the clay court guys, Ferrero and, all those guys. So there was opportunity. There was a 3-year, Sampras obviously was on and off in that time, but we haven't had that here. There has been no, these guys stopped and then these guys started a couple of years later. There's been no time. It's been 3 slams out of 4 in 1 year for Djokovic, and then Alcaraz Sinner. It went the next slam was Sinner. Just was I'm the hardcourt guy, and this guy wins on clay, but also we're going to split the grass. No chance. They even kicked Sinner out for 3 months to give someone, and nobody stepped up. But Draper did. Draper stepped up, but then Sinner came back. So, 40-30. But I'll tell you, look, Zverev should not be denied. Yes, he hasn't won a slam. Yes, he's made a bunch of finals, but he still is competitive against both of these guys. Remember last year's Cincinnati semifinal? He pushed Sinner to 3. He's beaten Alcaraz a bunch. It's just the Grand Slams. If Zverev could figure out how to win against Sinner and Alcaraz at slams consistently, then he'll win one. And he might be in the mix, but that's been his. I mean, he could. I mean, we could say the same about Zverev 5 years ago, right? We could say, well, Zverev, he could beat Nadal and Djokovic and Federer outside of the slams, but once he hit the slams, he just couldn't do the 5-set thing. He couldn't beat them in 5. He could beat them in 3-setters, but he couldn't beat them in 5. You know, like the Olympics, right? 2021, he beats Djokovic, right? He beat Nadal on clay a few times, I think once or twice, in 3. But he just couldn't do it in 5. So maybe the 5-set format's what's holding Zverev back against the top guys. Yeah, Zverev has beaten Alcaraz at the French Open and the Australian Open. But not like... Unfortunately, that's been in the quarterfinals, not the final. You know? He's pushed Alcaraz to 5 at a final, right? He beat Sinner at the US Open a couple of years ago in 5. But that wasn't the final. It was in the 4th round or quarterfinals, right? It's like he can beat them at slams, but not when he needs to beat them at slams. Yeah, okay, quarterfinals, yeah. Halfway through he can compete. But he can't beat them. He hasn't been able to beat them when it matters, So, but he is this close. Like Zverev should get credit for that. That he's not far behind these guys. He's not as far as it feels like he is. And if you put Zverev up against Alcaraz or Sinner, okay, Chad, I'll ask you: would you rather see a final of a semi-final or a final between Zverev and the top 2, or Fritz and the top 2? Because I think both. I mean, you can make an argument for both. Fritz. I think Fritz is not Fritz is definitely competitive against Alcaraz. We saw that at Wimbledon, right? Fritz, I don't think is competitive against Sinner, so I wouldn't want to see that. And Zverev can push Alcaraz. We've seen that. Maybe even beat Alcaraz. We've seen that too. And against Sinner at the Australian Open, that was just kind of sad to watch. But I mean, Zverev, okay. Fritz, honestly, okay. Most people are saying Zverev. So yeah, if we think Zverev is the best chance, besides Djokovic, to beat Alcaraz Sinner at a slam, then that's pretty high praise. So again, he must not be that far away from if he does beat. Imagine he beats, let's say Sinner has some crazy upset at the US Open this year. And it's Alcaraz Zverev down the bottom, like this, and then Zverev beats Alcaraz, makes the final, and then in the final, Zverev has to play, somebody outside the top 10. That would be interesting. I don't think that'll happen. But it almost happened at Wimbledon, where Sinner almost lost at Wimbledon, right? Maybe we get like a Dimitrov, but this time, the Dimitrov player, whoever that is, beats Sinner, doesn't get injured, and then the top half of the draw doesn't have Sinner. The bottom half is between Alcaraz and Zverev. And then we get to the final. Zverev beats Alcaraz. That's the final. And then Zverev... Maybe that's what Zverev needs to win one of these slams, Sinner losing on hard court in a slam, though, is like... I mean, that's crazy to think that could even happen, but... Who could do that? Who could beat... I mean, maybe Djokovic, a healthy, on fire, turn back the clock in a quarterfinal, beats. But then Djokovic versus Zverev in the final of the US Open. Djokovic, if he's beaten Sinner along the way, you'd say Djokovic wins. I love 30, by the way. Someone in the crowd, by the way, is... something's happened in the crowd. I'm not sure what's going on. By the way, I tell you what, this stadium is very low. It's not very tall. It's not a big stadium. It's a very short, especially when you see that tower, you think this place is huge, but you can see it's not very tall. This stadium is very, very short. Very short tier of level of stadium. Maybe they're going to beef it up and then put a roof on it. They could do that maybe next year. Do you think whoever makes the final will withdraw from the mixed doubles? Alcaraz will not withdraw from the mixed doubles unless he's injured, because Alcaraz is the face of the mixed doubles. He cannot withdraw from the mixed doubles. I don't care if he wins the whole damn thing. If he wins Cincinnati, he's got to rock up next day, play mixed doubles. He has to play. He has to play. Zverev, I think he'll still play. I think Zverev will still play. I don't think Zverev will withdraw if he makes the final. But Alcaraz has to play the mixed doubles. He hasn't got a choice. It's too bad. He has no choice. That's what you get for. That's what him and Raducanu get for doing all those interviews and letting the press run wild with rumors. He has to play now because he's the face of the mixed doubles. Him and Raducanu, they have to play. If they don't play, so many people are going to be sad. Anyways, we're just waiting for someone in the crowd who's just getting medical attention. It's hot out there, even if it's not. It's not super late. It's not super it's super late in the day. 7 p.m. It's still hot. Hopefully that person's okay. Raducanu will pull out before Alcaraz did. Yeah, I mean, if Raducanu could withdraw, I could see that happening, but I don't think she will. But yeah, Carlos will. He can't pull out. He can't withdraw. He has to play. They've promoted this whole event around them. You take them out of it, who's the face of the event? The whole reason why they changed the mixed doubles in the first place was to make it more fan friendly, more popular, and they used Alcaraz, Raducanu were the face again. They're the face of the event. They're the main event. They are the reason why people are going to watch mixed doubles. It's why we're watching it. They're part of one of the reasons. I want to watch some other players too, but they're the big reason we're even paying attention to it. Women's semi-finals are during the day tomorrow. During the day. What's going on? A fan passed out? Yeah. So there's someone in the crowd is receiving medical attention because it's super hot. Sinner not playing is a big loss. Yeah, but him and Navarro being a team was not as interesting. Like Navarro Sinner, that was not. Yeah, Sinner as an individual not playing, and also Sabalenka, yes, but as a team, as with their teammates, they weren't as talked about. They're not a big deal. Raducanu, Alcaraz as a team, that's what sells it. If Raducanu played it with somebody else and Alcaraz played with someone else, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But it's because of the team. Alcaraz, Raducanu playing as a team, that's what's selling this event. Whereas Navarro Sinner as a team, yeah, Sinner's, they're playing, but it was never as interesting. There's no other team in that competition that's more interesting that has more star power than Raducanu, Alcaraz. Maybe Kyrgios Osaka if they play. Maybe Kyrgios Osaka. But Raducanu and Alcaraz, you pick two of the most popular players in the world, and you pair them up, and then all the rumors fly and all that shit, you know. Whereas no one was talking about Navarro Sinner. Most people probably didn't even know that Sinner was going to team up with Navarro. Like, most people didn't even know that was probably a thing. But everybody knew about Raducanu Alcaraz. Everybody knew. They've promoted this whole mixed doubles because of them. It's the only reason it's probably getting as much notice. So that he has to play, or no one is going to. I mean, it's not that it makes it legitimate, because I think a lot of people still think it's like not really a Grand Slam. It's an exhibition. But if they pull out, if that team doesn't show up, then massive chunk of audience don't watch, which is the opposite of what they want. They want to promote mixed doubles by making superstar teams. But there's no other team that they can make that would be better. Maybe Sabalenka Sinner as a team, maybe. But the main event is them. I still think Sinner could win the doubles playing on his own. Maybe, you know what? If he got Gauff into it, she probably would have been able to bring a lot of people too, but she's not playing, so. All right. I was just waiting for the crowd to... The person in the crowd to get some medical attention. Zverev's got love 30, so this is probably a good a good delay for Alcaraz, to be honest, because he's love 30 down. Hey, thank you, Hobbs. Appreciate it. Yeah, we got to 260 earlier in the week. They need to get a stretcher for the person. Yeah. That's why it's taking a little bit of time. Need to get a stretcher. All right. It's been nearly 10 minutes since we've had this delay going. Yeah, it must be pretty serious. I don't think it's just a dehydration thing. Because they got to get a stretcher out and everything. So this is this could be pretty serious. I also think there was a helicopter flew over. I don't know if the helicopter was for the like an ambulance or anything, but yeah, it's a packed stadium too, and the person was sitting up the back, so that's not an easy way to get someone down from there. Yeah, can you please stop putting scores in the chat? I think you've been asked like 4 times, and you just don't listen. So can you please stop doing that? And then once you stop doing that, you will stop getting timed out. Lol, you're angry, bro. Yeah, I'm raging. I'm so pissed off right now. I'm so angry. Love is love 30. 24 minutes, but they keep ticking the clock over even though they're not playing. So it feels like it hasn't been 24 minutes this match. Not yet. And Zverev and Alcaraz are having a bit of a laugh at the net while they're waiting. All right, here we go. We're back. The person has been taken out of the stadium for treatment, so hopefully they're okay. All right, 11 minutes since the last point. Nah, mate, I just wanted attention. Shout out. Thanks for the shout out. Cool, no worries. I'm glad I could give you what you're craving. Hopefully you find a hobby, and somebody gives you the attention that you're looking for. As with a volley now from Zverev. Alcaraz the pass. Zverev with the volley. Now Alcaraz hits it wide. Love 40. Chance for Alcaraz to get the break here. Oh, I forgot that it's Saturday. That's why this happens. That's why. All right. As an ace from Alcaraz, he saves one. 15-40. 15-40. All right, nice from Alcaraz. He saves two. 30-40. 30-40. Still break point here for Zverev. Alcaraz with the serve. Into the net. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Zverev. Alcaraz with a forehand. Drop shot. Zverev can't get it. Smart by Alcaraz. All right, deuce. That was a good second serve. Body serve as well. All right, deuce. We get to deuce. As Alcaraz serves again. Into the forehand of Zverev. Good return. Alcaraz gets on the stretch. Zverev down the line. Alcaraz there with the backhand cross. Zverev again to the forehand of Alcaraz. Into the forehand of Zverev. As Alcaraz backhand into the backhand of Zverev. Again to the backhand of Alcaraz on the stretch with a slice. Zverev forehand cross court goes wide. Oof. Right shot. Just the wrong execution. Advantage Alcaraz. Advantage Alcaraz. Serve again. We got a fault, second serve. Second serve. As the backhand return goes in the front of Alcaraz. Zverev backhand. Into the slice of Alcaraz. Zverev backhand again. Into the backhand slice of Alcaraz. Zverev with a forehand goes long and Alcaraz holds. From love 40 down. 2-0. 2-0. Love 30 and you can't break Zverev. Come on, man. Hey, he's trying his best. He's trying. Hey, you. He's trying his best. All right? He's doing what he's doing. He's trying his best. Leave him alone. 2-0. How dare you? He's trying hard and be nice. All right, 2-0. Zverev serves again. He serves a fault. Second serve. Second serve, the back is Zverev. Back it out from Alcaraz. Zverev with the forehand. Into the back of Alcaraz. Zverev with the back on the stretch. Alcaraz on the attack, but slices it instead. Zverev with the forehand cross court. Alcaraz gets it back. Zverev forehand again to the front of Alcaraz, who hits a drop shot. Zverev's going to get there. Alcaraz with the pass. Zverev with a slice down the line. Alcaraz with the forehand pass. Drop volley Alcaraz, Zverev. And Alcaraz can't get it. What a rally by both. 15-love. As soon as Zverev came to the net, I thought he was going to lose the point. I didn't think he'd be able to outfox Alcaraz like that. Great rally. Great rally. And great turnaround by Zverev, too. I mean, that drop volley, I mean, I didn't know he had it in him. Now do that 100 times, you might get the win. You know what? He can get the win playing like, maybe not 100 times. That was a bit harsh. Trying his best. That was a great shot. 15-love. As the return goes in the forehand of Zverev, backhand it from Alcaraz, the backhand of Zverev. Into the backhand of Alcaraz. Zverev slice. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Again, the forehand of Zverev. Zverev hits it wide, though. Zverev definitely struggling on the forehand. Now, if he has a back problem, then the forehand, I mean, look, every shot's going to be affected because you have to use your back in every shot. You can't avoid that. But if he has got a back issue, maybe we can link that to the forehand errors. He does have a better backhand than forehand anyways, Zverev. But the forehand is letting him down right now. Maybe he's trying to be a little too aggressive. Return goes in the forehand of Zverev. Into the forehand of Alcaraz on the stretch. That's in the net. That's a better forehand. 30-15. Zverev serves again. Serving the forehand of Alcaraz. Return goes short. Zverev backhand cross-court winner. Whoa. God, Zverev's backhand. So good. All right. $40-15. $40-15. Break game point again for Alcaraz, for Zverev to stay in front. As the return goes out, Zverev holds 3-2. 3-2. Three games, 2. All right. Zverev definitely the better of the two players starting this match. He should have probably broken Alcaraz, but he's still the better of the two. My prediction is Alcaraz in 3. I think Alcaraz is going to outlast Zverev. That is my educated wish. 37-11, Jesus. That's crazy. Our match was interrupted because somebody in the crowd needed some medical assistance. I think Zverev in close straight sets or 3. Okay. If this goes to a tiebreak, don't know who to pick. Okay. What happened? What? That was fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can say tiebreak in the first and second set. You can't say it in the third set. Those are the rules. Those are the rules. Can't say it in the third set. You say in the third set, you're out. I bet $1,000 on Zverev. What? That's wild. Deb, you might not have been here the other day when we were discussing the T word. The rules state that you cannot say tiebreak in the final set, otherwise you are the one who it won't happen, and we blame the people that say it for ruining it. Look, I don't make up the rules, Chad. I just tell you what they are. Love 15 as Alcaraz makes another error. Love 15. All right, serve again. Is too strong. 15-0. And Alcaraz serves a fault. As that goes out by Zverev, 30-15. An ace from Alcaraz, 40-15. And we have a fault, second serve. Second serve. As the return goes in the front of Alcaraz. Back in from Zverev. In the front of Alcaraz. And Zverev, forehand down the line. Goes out. Okay. 3 games all. Three games all. Back to Zverev. As the return goes to 400 Zverev. Zverev hits a long. Love 15. Will Sinner play the mix? I'm going to say no. He has until 2 o'clock tomorrow to commit to it or not. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. Serve again. Is a let. Serve again from Zverev. As the return goes in, it goes out, sorry, by Alcaraz, 15-0. $15-all. As a return from Alcaraz goes to the forehand of Zverev. Backing up from Alcaraz. And Zverev's slice goes long. And it's 15-30. Chance for Alcaraz to get a break point. So into the backhand of Alcaraz. Backhand from Zverev. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Zverev with a passing shot. Alcaraz volley. Goes in, and then Zverev goes in the net. With a passing shot down the line. 15-40. Break points. Break points. As we get a fault from Zverev. Second serve. And the return goes out by Alcaraz. 30-40. One saved. Monday Sincaraz match, maybe. As the return goes into the forehand of Zverev. Back into Alcaraz, the forehand of Zverev. As Alcaraz back in again. To the backhand of Zverev. Alcaraz again to the Zverev backhand. As Alcaraz goes with a forehand into the forehand of Zverev. Alcaraz on the attack. He comes to the net. Zverev with the pass. Alcaraz with the volley. That's too good. That volley was ridiculous. What the hell was that volley? That was like Stefan Edberg in the 90s. What the hell was even that? He like just sliced the ball and it bounced like this high. Like, what was that volley? I mean, Federer could maybe hit that. Maybe. I mean, yeah, probably. What the hell was that? Chat, we got to have a conversation. Is Alcaraz the best volleyer in the world? Like, is he the best volleyer right now in the world? I mean doubles players, right? But name a better volleyer. That was crazy. They're going to show the replay, which was going to make it even crazier. Like, the way, like, he came into the net. It was a good pass, but Alcaraz just perfect. Like, if Alcaraz was born and played in the 90s, he would have done just fine. Not because of the ground strokes, but because he could have played Sampras and all those guys this style. Like, that volley was crazy. If Alcaraz, you pick him up and you drop him in 1980 with, like, not the racket that he has now, but the rackets they used back in the 80s and 90s, he would have been fine. That volley, that technique is ridiculous. Ridiculous. 4-3. Crazy. There's no better volleyer that only plays singles. Doubles players, yeah, okay. But, like, chuck them on a singles court, it's a different game. They got to cover the entire court, the entire net. All right. Ronaldo? I'm sorry, what? All right, 4-3. Four to three. As Alcaraz serves, he's got the break. He serves the fault second serve. As the return goes into the forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand now from Zverev as Alcaraz hits it long. Love 15. Love 15. All right, serve again. As a return from Zverev goes wide, 15-0. Zverev serves again. Sorry, Alcaraz serves again. Ah, 30-15. Nice serve again by Alcaraz. Another ace. 30-15. As he says, another ace. 40-15. 40-15. All right, Alcaraz holds. 5-3. I think that's 3 aces in a row. To hold. 5-3 Alcaraz first set. If Alcaraz had a powerful serve, he would be better than Sinner. Well, he's getting that. We're talking about his serve in the last match, how crazy good it is and underrated, and how it's so much better than it was last year, and that's feels like he's almost complete. He's almost a complete player. Anyways, Zverev served to stay in the set. Zverev serves a fault second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Alcaraz. Return goes back to Zverev. Zverev hits wide. I love 15. By the way, chat, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm going to say it anyway because I don't care. Is this the 5th time that Alcaraz and Sinner have played the same tournament and the 4th out of 5 that they're going to meet in the final? Australian Open they didn't play in the final, but they both played. Rome, Roland Garros, Wimbledon, here. That's insane. That's that's crazy. That's crazy. The 4th time in 5 events that they've played together. That's crazy. We're so spoiled. We're so lucky if that happens. We're so lucky. That never happens. Oh yeah, okay, it did happen back in the day. Back in the 2010s, Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, okay. But in 2025, never happens. I think last year they played 3 times, right? French Open, Indian Wells, French Open, and Beijing, right? So last year they played 3. They're playing every time they play in the same tournament, they play each other. It's what? Anyways, 30-15, Zverev's still playing, so let's just relax a little bit. We've got a volley winner from Zverev, and it's 40-15. And they're going to, the 6-King Slam as well last year. But that was true. Okay. All right, you can throw that in there. Ken Mustard bet on Zverev. What, is that obvious? I put my house on him. My whole house is on this Zverev guy. Somebody told me he was going to win. Backhand goes out by Alcaraz. 5-4. 5-4. Alcaraz going to serve for the set. All right. Alcaraz and Sinner are just both elite players, incredible tennis players. Yeah. Well, let's be real. Let's be honest. Sinner is a guarantee to make the final. Pretty much every time he plays, right? It's Alcaraz the one that we hope makes the final so that we can get the match. And there's been times where Alcaraz has almost failed to make the final. But luckily for us, Alcaraz has, and this is something we should definitely remember, that the reason why Alcaraz, and we can see that because Sinner was gone for 3 months and Alcaraz wasn't great at the start of that. Two out of the 3 months he wasn't great. Sinner makes Alcaraz better, and I think Sinner making the final probably motivates Alcaraz to try and make the final too. Had Sinner not have made the final, I wonder whether or not Alcaraz would have. Maybe he doesn't get through Rublev, right? Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he has an upset. But seeing Sinner on the other side of the draw win probably gives Alcaraz a little extra something to go for because he doesn't want Sinner to get ahead of him in titles and and he's already ahead of him in the rankings. And we saw that because remember when Sinner got banned. The first 2 months, until we got to Monte Carlo, Alcaraz couldn't win anything. He was losing matches that we didn't expect. We lost in Miami. He did lose to Draper, which was a great win for Draper. He lost in Doha, right? He didn't play. He won Rotterdam, but that was just before Sinner got banned. So it's probably not a coincidence that Sinner comes back and then they start meeting more. Because, when we look at the draw, we go, oh, well, Sinner's probably going to make the final. But Alcaraz, we don't know how he's going to be. It depends on the day, right? But I know that Alcaraz looks at Sinner on the other side of the draw and sees him win and goes, he makes the semis, all right, I'm making the semis. He makes the final, all right, I'm going to make the final. It would be interesting if Sinner lost, if Alcaraz would still go on and win or make the final. But that would be interesting. But let's say, maybe not, definitely don't happen at the US Open, but maybe in the Asian swing, if Sinner lost in the quarterfinals unexpectedly and Alcaraz is still alive, if Alcaraz then also goes down, that would be interesting to see. Then that would make the theory a little bit more solid. Not really a theory. I think it's just fact. I mean, you go look at all the great players in the world, they would say, well, I would be nothing if it wasn't for my competition. Federer wouldn't be as good if Nadal wasn't there. Djokovic wouldn't be good if they both weren't there. Murray was better because of all of them. Sinner makes Alcaraz better, right? Even if it's just from a motivational point of view. Set point. 40-15. Serves an ace. There we go. All right. First set in the bag. 6-4. Really just one bad game for Zverev. That was just one bad game. That's all you need to do. You need to have one bad game and you will lose to these guys. These guys do not give charity. Okay. All right. First set in the bag.
I'm thinking of watching challenges worth my time.
Mirra, was that you? The hell was that? Is that the ninth ace, Cam? Yes. We did say earlier with the when we saw Atmain taking on Sinner, that Atmain was so competitive because of the serve. That's the reason why it was so close. And Alcaraz is serving well, so that's going to be his serve is going to be a factor if he does play Sinner in the final. Eric, thank you for the $2. Appreciate that. Watching challenges. What challenges is in the movie, or challenges is in Challenger events? You should watch the movie. Yeah, it's only an hour and a half. Cam, why does Alcaraz have a lot of unforced errors? Because he plays aggressive. And that's what happens. He can get a little wild. He must have meant 125 events. Oh. Look. If you want to. But, I mean, it's not necessary. You don't have to watch futures and challenges to get an idea of what's going on. It helps. Like, it helps if you want to learn, about these players that, if you want to learn about players that nobody... all these up-and-coming players and where they've come from. So when somebody does break out on the scene, if somebody breaks out, you can be like, oh, yeah, that guy's been doing well for months, right? That's great. But it's not, like, compulsory. It's almost like additional homework. If you want to do it and you want to know more about the lower-ranked players and who could be a threat in the future, yeah, definitely go for it. But it's not, like... It's not... required reading. You have to watch 1000. You have to watch slams. You have to pay attention to the ATP and the WTA circuit. But challenges is additional homework. If you want to do it, great. You have you know a little bit more about players that haven't. When you see a first round match between Zverev and somebody, you'll know who that person is more. But it's not required reading. 30 love. And plus, most of the time when we get those players show up, so let's say Atmain, for example, we haven't watched him at all, right? It takes about 20 minutes to figure out, oh, well, he did this, and you can learn like pretty quickly, right? You can Google a couple of things, you can Wikipedia, and you figure out, okay, you can see who he's beaten. But you would have known about him more had you have watched challenges. So it just depends. Again, it's not required. But it's additional. If you're bored, you've got nothing else to do, go for it. You got time on your hands, go for it. I'd cover more of it, but I just don't have the time. There's so much other stuff going on. All right, 30-15. I knew about Karatsev from the Challenger events. Yeah, see, there you go. As the return goes in the net from Alcaraz, and it's 40-15. I guess the equivalent would be like watching, it'd be like, okay, you watch Premier League, you watch, Championship League or whatever the second league is, and then, but do you watch like the local league, or do you watch like the county league or whatever, to know like who could get traded to the big leagues, right? It's like that kind of thing, It's like, yeah, if you want to know those things, then cool, but you don't have to. You can wait until the person gets traded to your team and then learn who they are. Like, yeah. I guess like the D League in the NBA, like you can watch that or watch college. Maybe kind of like college basketball, maybe. No, because college basketball is more important. Double fault Zverev 40-30. College basketball is pretty important. So maybe it's probably less important than that. But again, it's not necessary, but 40-30 Zverev, first game of the second. As the return goes into the forehand of Zverev, forehand from Alcaraz, the backhand of Zverev. Alcaraz backhand on the stretch. Zverev backhand again, the backhand of Alcaraz into the forehand of Zverev. Alcaraz backhand again. Down the line is off the tape, goes in. Zverev gets it back. Alcaraz forehand cross court again to the slice of Zverev. There's Alcaraz forehand inside out. Zverev's there with the slice, but he can't get it. Alcaraz too good. We get to deuce. Zverev probably should have lost that point like 3 shots earlier when The tape got in the way, but eventually Alcaraz takes it. All right. We get the deuce. There's a bit of let from Zverev. And Zverev serves again. Serve is a fault, second serve. As the return goes in the backhand, is Zverev. Great shot. Alcaraz in the net with the slice. And it's advantage Zverev. Who do you think is a complete player right now? I mean, Sinner. Like, we played this game yesterday, and we couldn't figure out what Sinner could improve on. Like this, it's got to be Sinner. Like, how does Sinner get better? What does he need to improve on? And I don't think anybody knows, except for Alcaraz. But then Alcaraz doesn't expose Sinner. He just can level Sinner. Like, he can play at that level, right? Nobody has just, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one has come in and gone, oh yeah, if I do this, you can beat him. Because if that was the case, then everybody would do that. So I think Sinner's the most complete player right now because no one has figured out how to beat him. Besides Alcaraz, who hits a ridiculous shot. But, like, how the hell can you play like... You got to play like Alcaraz to beat Sinner. Okay, yeah. Because that's easy too. So I think Sinner is the most complete player right now. Until somebody comes along and finds something, because there's always going to be something. No one's ever going to be perfect, right? Federer was perfect until he wasn't, right? Until somebody came along and figured out how to what was a weakness, and then other people tried to. It didn't work always, but other people saw that, oh, maybe I could try and do something. Nobody's done that yet with Sinner, because even when Alcaraz has played Sinner, we don't look at the Sinner matches and go, oh man, Sinner really struggles when Alcaraz does this. It's always just like Alcaraz's game as a whole is and the variety that Alcaraz brings that nobody else has, right? Nobody else has the variety of Alcaraz. The variety gets to Sinner, and the rhythm, and he breaks the rhythm Alcaraz, but nobody else can do that. So that's not a good, okay, just be more variety. It's like, okay, well, I can't do that because I'm not Alcaraz. Anyway, Zverev holds 1-0 in the second. Wait, did it hold? No. Back to deuce. What happened? Oh, he's going to the... Okay, he's getting a towel. Did he double fault, did he? Did I miss that? So, yeah. So, I think Sinner is the most complete player. Because even when he plays Alcaraz, it's not, like we keep saying, right? It's not that, like, Alcaraz dominates Sinner. It's Alcaraz is just better in certain moments of matches that he clutches them out. By the way, really creative way of calling me an idiot. Thanks for that. Can we get rid of this guy? All right, volume there by Zverev. Advantage Alcaraz to get the break. Sinner suffocates Alcaraz, and it was mainly fitness that let him down. Okay. But yeah, so I would say, yeah, Sinner's the most complete. Because I think we've all said over the last couple of days how there's room for improvement for Alcaraz, which is scary. All right, advantage Alcaraz to get the break. Like, Alcaraz is not perfect. He's got there's plenty of things that he could work on that he could polish up a little bit to be better. Whereas with Sinner, it's like it's just really hard to. There's nothing that he needs to be better at because he's winning. So why would he change something that when he's winning? But like, there's just doesn't when he wins, it doesn't feel like there's anything that anyone like. There's nothing. There's no there's no weakness. He might have a bad day, but that's a different thing. All right. As Alcaraz goes to the backhand of Zverev, backhand from Alcaraz, again the backhand of Zverev. Alcaraz forehand inside out, Zverev on the stretch, can't get it. Alcaraz puts away the winner. And it's advantage Alcaraz. Advantage Alcaraz. Advantage Alcaraz. As the return goes to the backhand of Zverev. Slice from Alcaraz to the forehand of Zverev. Alcaraz slice again. Zverev in control. As Alcaraz hits a passing shot. Zverev with a volley in the net. That's too good. Alcaraz breaks. 1-love in the second. 1-0. All right. Alcaraz is probably more creative on court two, although Sinner's probably better when it comes to strategy and point construction. Yeah. See, the thing is, Alcaraz has more options, right? He has more things. He could do more things. He could serve and volley. High-level options, right? Whereas Sinner, again, but Sinner doesn't have to do serve volleys. He doesn't have to do any of that stuff. He is. What was that? Why is the umpire yapping? Because people are walking around. Sinner's more like, I'm gonna do what I'm good at and this strategy, but like perfect, and also like to the best ever, right? The best I can do. And I think sometimes the fact that Alcaraz has so many options right now, I think what he struggles with is having too many options, right? Chat, how many of you jump on Netflix, don't know what you want to watch, and you scroll? That's sort of what Alcaraz has got, that kind of brain at times, where he's like, I could do this, but I also could do this. But then I could do this. But then I could also win this way as well. And then he kind of does a little bit of everything and makes a mess of it, right? So that's why it's scary how good he is, right? Because he could play a multiple amount of games, but he's just got to figure out to play the right game at the right time and not be like, oh, but now I'm going to serve volley because I'm bored. You know, like, and again, that'll take a little bit more time. He's still younger than Sinner. But once he goes, okay, a little bit more discipline, I guess, when it comes to strategy, and not just be like, oh, well, I'm going to do this because I want to have fun. Yeah, of course have fun, but, in those moments, that's what Sinner does so well, right? He doesn't really have fun. He's like, okay, what do I have to do? This. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do it perfect. And that's why Sinner doesn't look beatable, because he knows what to do at the right time and how to do it perfectly. Alcaraz a little bit scatterbrained a little bit. And it's cost him matches and it's cost him, sets, right? But once Alcaraz figures out, hey, I'm not going to muck around, or I'm not going to try things. I'm not going to just serve and volley for fun, and I'm not going to just try and hit a highlight shot. When he zooms in on that, that. By the way, Zverev stopped moving. Zverev stopped moving. I think Zverev's going to retire. Zverev stopped moving. He's not even trying to get returns. He's just putting the racket out like this. 40-15. Because chat, if Alcaraz starts to if he does lock in like that, he has way more opportunity to play and beat everybody and Sinner, right? But the only thing I think at the moment is that Sinner's got his game, and he knows his game, and he knows exactly how to play it, and he plays it to the perfect, right? But Alcaraz, he's got way more game, way more options for games. But if he locks in like Sinner, then Alcaraz is going to be better. And then it's going to force Sinner to have to do something different. That's where they're going to get better and better and make each other better. Now, does Alcaraz ever lock in like that? Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he wants to keep the fun in it. He doesn't want to get too monotonous and too like predictable in his own mind. Maybe he wants to keep it fun and keep it light and go, I want to keep doing these shots. I don't want to, take it too seriously because then it might suck the joy out of it. So, Carlos. And then the thing is, like, does he get bored because he can do whatever he wants and it's easy? Like, you know what I mean? And maybe that's not. Maybe he won't like it. So again, it's going to be interesting how Alcaraz develops. But having Sinner around is definitely going to make him make those choices, right? Because if Sinner wasn't around, it'd be interesting. I think Alcaraz maybe wouldn't be as... Yeah, he'd be obviously still kicking ass, but you wonder if he would push himself as much or like, have a guy to go, okay, what are you up to? And then compare to, right? As Alcaraz double faults. I don't know what's going on. First, Zverev wasn't moving, and now Alcaraz is double faulting. What the hell's going on? See, this is what I'm talking about, though, right? This is what I'm talking about. Him going for massive second serves, like that kind of thing. Like he's like, I'm up a set and a break, and he starts doing this stuff. And you go, well, if he eliminates this from his game, he might become unbeatable. Because even if you change your strategy, he's got an answer for that. Like Alcaraz has all the answers. But for some reason, he's double faulting like a madman. All right. Advantage, Zverev. Second serve. Into the backhand, Zverev. Return into the forehand of Alcaraz. Zverev backhand. Down the line. Goes long. Back to deuce. All right. Back to deuce. Where is Sasha, who beat Alcaraz at the AO quarterfinals? Remember that guy? Yeah. But that was like 3 Grand Slams ago for Alcaraz. A lot's happened since then. A lot has happened. He's added 3 Grand Slams to his total. But also Zverev right now, there was word on the street that he had a back problem coming in. So, this might not be the same Zverev that played that day. Yeah. All right, forehand. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Backhand of Zverev on the stretch. Alcaraz backhand. Again, the backhand of Zverev. Alcaraz with a forehand cross. Zverev gets it. Goes down the line. Alcaraz backhand on the stretch. Zverev backhand again. The backhand of Alcaraz. Into the forehand is Zverev. Alcaraz with the slice. And Zverev hits a backhand down the middle. Alcaraz with the pass. Zverev with a volley. Alcaraz with a lob. Goes long. Nice from Sasha. Advantage, Zverev. Advantage, Zverev. Advantage, Zverev. As Alcaraz says, another fault. Second serve. Into the backhand, Zverev. Return goes to forehand of Alcaraz. Alcaraz hits it out. We're back on serve. Okay. We're back on serve. Okay. We are back on serve. What was that? Exactly. That's what we're talking about with Alcaraz. Zverev, by the way, sitting down at the back of the court. Sasha is struggling. He's just sitting down at the back of the court because there's no lines people's chairs to sit in anymore. So he's sitting on the ground. All right, 1-1. All right, back to Zverev. Back to Zverev. Winner of this by Sinner on Monday. All right, first serve is a fault, second serve. As we return now to the 400 Zverev. Then Alcaraz hits a winner. Love 15. Yeah, Sasha looks stuffed. Sasha looks... He looks like he did against Shelton. You know, when he was really just struggling, like, you know, look fatigued. He's sort of got that look again on him at the moment. As the return goes into the net. 15-0. He is sweating a lot. This is over. See you Monday. Bye. You didn't need to announce yourself leaving, but okay, thank you. We'll see you Monday. 15-0. As the return goes in the back of Zverev. Out goes the pass. Zverev with the volley. Oh, what a shot. Great drop volley from Zverev. 30-15. 30-15. All right, back to Zverev. Serves that wide. The return goes in, then Zverev back into the net. 30-0. And yeah, Zverev is just moving real slow. And a serve out wide. Return goes in the back of Zverev. Alcaraz gets there with a slice, but it's wide. God, Alcaraz is quick. And he yells at himself there, Carlos. 40-30. All right, 40-30. As the return goes into the forehand of Zverev. Alcaraz backhand into the slice of Zverev. As Alcaraz with a drop shot in the net. Chat, it's so crazy that we're talking about, okay, who's the most complete player? We talk about Sinner. We talk about why Alcaraz is not there yet, but could be if he does this, that, and the other. And he's doing the thing that is stopping me from picking him as the most complete. Because if Alcaraz doesn't do this, he is the most complete player. Because he has every weapon and he has every strategy and tactic. And he also, I mean, we don't give enough credit. He plays the right, like most of the time, when he needs to, he plays the right tactic at the right time. That's why he's won all the 5 setters he's played but one. That's why he clutches matches out. But it's when he's winning, he starts to then lose the strategy. He then starts to do things that are silly, right? It's like, it's only when he's like kicking ass that he starts doing this kind of stuff, right? Where he throws in double faults, where he's running, where he's doing stuff that, what are you doing? I know you're winning, but oh my God, you're playing number 3 in the world. You can't stuff around one love in the second. Like, that's the only thing that's like stopping him from becoming, you know, unbeatable. It's himself. Anyways, Zverev is not looking good. And we're getting a trainer out on court for Zverev. He is struggling out there. Yeah, the trainer's coming out. I think Zverev's looking at his... he's checking his blood sugar levels. It's not been good. Like the last... And again, it's hard to say whether or not... He's saying that he's just not feeling great at all. And Chad, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how diabetes and blood sugar levels in this weather, if it's worse or better or like worse because of the weather, I don't know. But Zverev's getting medical treatment. So it's. I don't want to say that it's that until he says it's that, or we hear it's that, or if it's just general dehydration and because of the stinking hot weather. He said that his head's spinning. Yeah, and he looked like that yesterday too against Shelton. So again, we're not sure. It's hard. I don't want to just jump to it's this, because it could just be. It could just be because of the conditions. His swearing is concerning. Oh, he's sweating. I'm like, is he swearing? I didn't hear him. Yeah, he's sweating a lot. Like, he is drenched. So yeah. If blood sugar is low, then he would faint, especially in this heat. Diabetes is very serious, and heat could make it worse in the condition. Yeah. So again, I don't want to say it's because of that until we hear otherwise, but we'll see. We'll see how Zverev looks when he comes back. Zverev needs to consider longevity, but I said the same thing about Palini. What do you mean? Can you talk about who the bombers are? No. If you don't know who they are by now, then it doesn't matter. Sasha went off court, yeah. I have no idea, but Zverev looks absolutely stuffed. Oh, yeah. But it also, yesterday when he played Shelton, or the other day, the same thing happened. It was like he looked okay until he didn't. So it happened. It happened very quickly. It wasn't like Zverev walked out looking weird and then he got slowly worse. It was like he looked okay in the first set. He looked fine, and then the start of the second, and it just switched, and he couldn't. He was walking slow, and he's looking dizzy, and he looked tired, and he's sweating like mad. Same thing happened with Shelton, right? He looked fine in the first set and a bit, and then it all just kind of happened, So it wasn't like, oh, well, he's just tired from playing. It's like, no. It's, all right, so the treatment's starting now. Okay. Yeah. But hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's not serious. Hopefully it's something that he can fix so he can come out and at least play the rest of this, and at least play the rest of this healthy. Because he might come back and play, but if he's still if he faints, that's horrific. We don't want to see that. Yeah, it is similar to yesterday. And it's also, I don't know what time exactly yesterday it was because remember, yesterday was a longer match. This one's gone pretty quick. It's been about, an hour? We had a delay, but it's been about an hour. And yesterday, I think the first set went for 6-2 was 45 minutes, and then it was probably a similar time, about that hour mark. So, again, concerning. Alcaraz just keeping his serve warmed up. Yeah, Jeb, that was what a disgusting comment. If you're down a set, it makes you feel worse. Yeah, well, yesterday he won the first set pretty easily, and then he still looked like this. So I don't think losing the first set made him feel worse, because he looked the same yesterday when he won. So I don't think the scoreline's the reason. It wouldn't help, but he said Zverev said on a podcast he can't control his blood sugar level in America because of the low quality food. Oh, really? Interesting. That is interesting. What happened to Shelton? Well, Shelton just played so much. Like Shelton, he even said on Instagram, Shelton was like, well, I ran out of gas. Like Shelton just ran out of steam because he's been playing so much. And he said as much online, but yeah. All right, Zverev's back. Let's see if that made anything better. Let's see if he could recover and compete. Interesting about the food? Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's just harder to find, like, maybe the diet that he has when he's in Europe, he just can't find those foods, and he can't find those things that he usually eats in Europe, in America, because obviously he's going to have a particular diet. I mean, most players would, but even more so, right? He'd have a particular diet for to manage his diabetes, right? But maybe you just can't find that sort of food in those. If he's talking about the food is not as high quality or as lower quality, it might just mean that he just can't find the same brands or find the same, find an equivalent diet when he's in America, which makes total sense. Because when you go to a different, I've been to I've been to Europe and I've been to America and I live in Australia. It's like there's all different. Like you can, there's different things. If you're used to having one thing in Europe, it's probably easy because he can either get things from other countries in Europe, but to bring all the food from Europe that he eats to bring to America, that's not going to work. That's too hard to do. Zverev hits it in net, 30 love. But that's interesting that he mentioned the food and the hard. And again, that's an interesting topic. Send me that interview so I can listen to it. It sounds interesting. Because he doesn't talk about it much. He doesn't mention... And the thing that Zverev doesn't get credit for is that he doesn't use it as an excuse. Not one time has Zverev said, well, the reason I lost was because of this. He never said that. Never has said that. Which is a credit. He could have easily been like, well, yeah, the reason I lost the Grand Slam finals was because of this. No, never. Never uses it as an excuse. He said on the Nothing Major podcast, all right, easy. I'm going to listen to that. That's a good, that's an insight, interesting insight. All right, Zverev hits it out. Alcaraz hold, 2-2. Most McDonald's in Europe don't use beef. You don't use US beef. No hormones used. Well, I don't think he's eating McDonald's, to be honest. I don't think Zverev's diet is McDonald's diet. I don't think McDonald's is on the menu, but in Europe or America for Zverev. But okay. Maybe maybe in general, like chicken and beef, maybe maybe there's a difference in European and American grown meats. But I don't know if McDonald's is the best example. I think Zverev's out there eating Maccas. Anyway, it's 2-2. As the return goes to forehand, Zverev. Forehand now from Alcaraz. Again, the forehand Zverev. Alcaraz forehand again to the Zverev forehand. Alcaraz goes in the line. Zverev's there with a backhand slice. Alcaraz forehand again. Goes in the line for a winner. That's just too good. Love 15. Love 15. It's easy to avoid sugar spikes if you eat natural foods, not processed ones. Well, maybe that's what he meant as well. Maybe he was like, well, it's harder to find. There's so much processed food that it's hard for him to find the right diet because there's so much processed food in America. So much stuff is processed that it's hard for him to get it right, 15-0. And we'll serve again. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Forehand from Zverev. To the backhand of Alcaraz. And Alcaraz hit the wide. 30-15. And I'll tell you this, chat. As much as we're watching Zverev right now, and we're seeing how he's reacting and how he's going, this is really interesting to see how Alcaraz reacts, because we've already seen that Alcaraz was up a set and a break, and he's already given that back. But we know that this year he's had this issue where he's taken someone on who had a clear disadvantage physically, and he lost. So let's see if Alcaraz learned his lesson from playing Djokovic in Australia, and see if because right now he's sort of going for the kill still, but he's also still making some errors and playing a little too aggressive. So Zverev's definitely not feeling it, but Alcaraz has we've got to see if he can play smart here, because we saw what happened, and obviously Djokovic is different to Zverev, and there's different reasons, but still, Alcaraz definitely left that one slip. So let's see if he's learnt from that against, and see if he can try and not let this go 3, right? Because you can't beat. I mean, look, if he's going to let this slip, and he gets to the third, that just helps Sinner. That's just better for Sinner. 40-30. Serve again. Into the forehand of Alcaraz. Return goes forehand of Zverev. Alcaraz forehand goes in the net. All right, 3-2 Zverev. Because Zverev is definitely feeling it. Like, he is not looking any better than he did when he walked off the court. You know, he's still stumbling around. He's still looking all fatigued. So Alcaraz just got to work that out. You know, yeah, Zverev is struggling out there. It's hard to watch. The more Carlos plays like this, the more time he gives Zverev to recover as well. Exactly. Yeah. Zverev is somehow hanging on. Yeah. Yeah, I think partly because Alcaraz is giving him points, but also Zverev is playing a little more aggressive as well, which is helping him win points. You know, he's sort of throwing it all out there. As Zverev, with an ice pack on his head and around his neck, he is just covered in ice. Cam, stop. American citizens have diabetes. Please stop. If food is a concern, his crew would have... Oh, my God. Chat are not doctors. Okay. Look, none of us are doctors. Well, maybe not. There's probably some people in the chat that are doctors. But we're just trying to understand what it could be. And if Zverev has said things, if he's talked about it, we're going to talk about what he talked about. We're trying to figure it out as much as everybody else is. I didn't put down America. Are you serious? Are you taking offense to America? Oh, my God. Are you serious? You're getting offended on behalf of America because I said something that Zverev said? What the hell are you talking about? Don't put down American food. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Zverev hits it out. 15 love. $15 love. It's not all processed food. I know, I've been to America. But there's definitely more processed food in America than other places I've been to. All right, 15 love. First serve's a fault, second serve. I don't think anyone's ever got offended on behalf of food before. It's crazy. Please do not get angry that I didn't. America also has great food. Like, is that better? By the way, to the guy that's like chiming in and chirping because you just want attention, I'll give you your attention right now. You're only saying that because you want me to talk to you. So just shut up, all right, buddy? You just quiet, pipe down, buddy, all right? Please stop. Shut up, cuddle. All right, there you go. He said my name. You got it. All right, just back off. All right. We're talking with me and Lynn are discussing something. All right, just pipe down. All right, 30 love. As with the backhand goes into the forward of Alcaraz puts away 40 love. $40 love. I'm reading what Lynn's saying because Lynn's from America and trying to help with the conversation. And then you're coming in and being like, but I want to, let me be shut up. You're not part of the conversation. Just quiet down, buddy. We don't need you here. All right, just relax. You're not a part of it. This doesn't concern you. 40 love. Yeah. Here's my moment to be part of it. Shut the hell up. 3-0. Zverev's not running for anything. But yeah, no, Lynn, I get you. I get what you're talking about. Look, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. We're just trying to figure out why. Because Zverev deals with this every day. And we watch Zverev, and he doesn't look like this every day. So we're trying to figure out, okay, why is the reason why Zverev is, the last couple of days, this is affecting him. That's what we're trying to figure out. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it is the weather. Maybe the humidity. But he also has played in Australia. He's played another, he has diabetes. Exactly. We know that. But we're trying to figure out why is his diabetes not is not good for it now. Why is, every other match that he's played, it feels like he's been okay. He's played 5-set epics with diabetes, right? Long 5-setters with Djokovic. Why is it now that he is struggling today? We're trying to figure that out. That's part of what we do. We're trying to figure it out. All right, 3-3. And Zverev serves. And if Zverev said, hey, it's harder to find the quality food in America, he said it. Zverev's words. The man who is struggling with what we think is diabetes right now. He said it. He said it. I'm just saying what he said. By the way, again, the amount of people that just pipe up who are like, don't get attention for the entire stream and then decide like, oh, I'm gonna say leave diabetes alone to get attention. You need to go away. Those you are in the chat, the hardest people to deal with in the chat. We're trying to have a conversation. Let the adults speak. Love 30. We're trying to understand. And you're using this as an opportunity to try and be noticed and get attention. Relax and leave. There's Zverev hits in there. Love 40. Love 40. Love 40. A bit of serve down the tee is a fault. Second serve. Second serve. As the return goes into the backhand of Zverev. Backhand slice from Alcaraz. Zverev backhand slice again. Goes long. There it is. And again, Zverev is just... Yeah, Zverev is just... I mean, he's just got no energy. He's got no energy. No energy. Okay. And unless Alcaraz slips up like he did in the first game of this second set, you would say that Alcaraz is probably going to serve it out and get it done. I don't think Zverev's going to miraculously recover. Why wouldn't he retire? I mean, unless he feels like he's going to faint or something and he thinks he's in danger, I don't think he's going to... I think you just tough it out. I think... By the way, again, so funny when how many people come in and be like, I want to know, how many of you that say he should retire are losing money on him playing? Like, I want to know. Because I don't think we could talk. We can't talk to you. You can't be a part of this conversation if you're like, I need him to. You're biased, all right? No, he should retire for his health, his own health, for his health and safety. I'm concerned. No, you're not. You're concerned about your bank account. All right? How many of you are coming in here and just try to oh, he really should retire? Okay, yeah. Why? Why? Why should he retire? Why? We need to know. If you say, because I need my bet back. All right, well, we can't have a conversation. All right, Zverev is changing his shoes and socks, and the umpire announced that to the crowd. Does that happen? Oh, this is weird. Tennis Channel said that he's only retired ever once in his career. Well, that's probably why he won't retire then, because it would be a thing of pride. We talked about this the other day with I forgot who it was. Who was the other? Who did we talk about the other day? That it was Callan Skyer. We were saying with Callan Skyer yesterday how she retired matches a couple of times this year, and some players like Roger Federer just never retired. So he's only ever retired once, and that was because he rolled his ankle and he couldn't walk. Yeah, that was that horrific injury in France, right? So the only other time Zverev's been forced to retire mid-match was because his ankle fell off. Basically, like he just basically snapped his ankle. So, yeah. So he won't retire. So boo-hoo if you gambled and you lost. That's your fault. You should have known that he was coming in here with some. Did you not watch him against Shelton? You bet on Zverev even though you saw the Shelton match? Did you see that he was dealing with... You got to come here more often. That's your fault. So he won't retire unless he... because he's a thing of pride. Now, Federer retired 0 times. He retired once at the end of his career when he stopped playing tennis. As that goes the net from Zverev on the return. But mid-match, he never retired. And Zverev only retired once mid-match. And that's because he was on crutches. So, pretty good reason. 15 love. All right. First serve was a fault, second serve. As we return now into the forehand of Alcaraz, but it's out by Zverev on the return. 30 love. As he serves an ace down the tee, Alcaraz, 40 love. Deb, can we get him out of here? 40 love. Yeah, Roger never retired mid-match. He did give walkover, right? He did some before matches he pulled out, like he pulled out at an ATP finals final once, but he never retired. If he walked on the court and played, he never retired during the match. He played the match to the end, which is crazy because he played like 1,300 matches. He didn't just play a couple of hundred. He played 1,300. One of the well, actually, no, he played more because he won 1,300. He won 1,300, so he played more. Yeah, he played 1,500 matches, 0 retirements. 1,500 matches, never retired. Crazy. Anyways, love 15. And Zverev shows a fault, second serve. Second serve. As the return goes into the backhand, Zverev backhand out from Alcaraz. Into the forehand, Zverev. Alcaraz to the forehand of the stretch. Zverev backhand. into the forehand of Alcaraz. It's forehand from Zverev again. The forehand of Alcaraz. Zverev can't get that one. And I think the crowd know, and even Alcaraz knows. I think everybody knows. Like this is Alcaraz. Look, he's such a nice guy, Alcaraz, that he's probably feeling like shit having to like bully Zverev here. But I mean, that's the right. You got to play that way. Love 40. As Zverev hits it wide. I mean, you can't be giving out charity. That's not what this is about. Charity is not tennis ain't a charity. All right, match points for Alcaraz. Sinkeraz, round 4 in like as many months is 1 point away. Love 40. As the backhand return goes in from Alcaraz, and there it is. Zverev didn't even move to that one. It was just a return win-up. Alcaraz not celebrating. He knows. Again, respects Zverev. Alcaraz making sure Zverev's okay. Man, that's a shame. Hopefully Zverev's okay. Hopefully he can sort it out, whatever it is, whatever he needs to figure out for the US Open in a couple of weeks, or in a week. In a very, very polite celebration. Not even a celebration. He's just kind of like, thank you. And then he walks away, Alcaraz. Very respectful of Zverev in that situation. Sinkeraz. It's not the way we wanted to get it, but we get it. Sinkeraz. Round 4. Round 4, which is absolutely crazy. That we've got 4 of the best match that we could ever have right now, and we got 4 of them in like 5 tournaments. It's crazy. Crazy. And it's 2-1 Alcaraz at the moment in the head-to-head this year. So let's see if Sinner can continue the mini streak that he's on, the one match win streak. Yeah, hopefully Zverev can sort it out for New York because, yeah. I mean, he's going to have to play more tennis, and the conditions aren't much different. I mean, maybe they're not as hot, but it's going to be just as humid. So hopefully Zverev can figure out what's going on in time for New York so he can have a run. No, Alcaraz hasn't won Cincinnati. He made the final, but lost to Djokovic. Yeah, 4th time they've played in a final as well in a row. So we've got Rome, Roland Garros, Wimbledon, and now here. I'll tell you what, I feel like tomorrow, from a tennis point of view, Alcaraz not having to play a tough match today, yes, it helps, right? But it also kind of hurts because the level of tennis that Zverev was able to produce wasn't high enough. Wasn't that high because of because he was going through it. But I don't know if that's the best preparation for Alcaraz to take on Sinner. Like when he played Fritz, or when he came through to play Sinner in those finals, he had, I know he had the Rublev match, but I don't know. I mean, has he been tested enough, Alcaraz, and has he had to lift his level? And can he lift his level to meet Sinner? Because Sinner had a tough match today and served it phenomenal and won the match, outlasted his opponent. And we thought that maybe this would be a test for Alcaraz that, would maybe elevate his level to get to play Sinner. But he didn't really have to play that much because of what happened with Zverev. So is Alcaraz able to lift his level against Sinner on Monday? Like, is he able to go from like getting a pretty easy win today to like playing the toughest player around? I don't know. I mean, the answer is probably yes, but will he do it? That's what we'll find out. Sinner played a challenger in the semis. Worry about him. Yeah, Ali, you didn't watch the match, so that's just a dumb comment. Zverev can show his cards, yet he is waiting for the... Wait, what? God, some of you are writing some weird things. I know it's late, so maybe you should go to bed. I think Rublev was a good practice. Yeah, Rublev was a good test for Alcaraz to be forced to play well, but I mean, today I think Alcaraz Alcaraz and his team were probably thinking, well, today we'll get a tougher match. And he didn't really get that tough match. So is he going to be ready to make to play Sinner, who was playing such a high level today and was forced to play a high level. Now, if Sinner had not had to play a tough match today and not had to play or a high level today because and got through easily, then maybe both of them would be interesting to see when they play off. But because what we saw from Sinner today was much better than what Alcaraz did today. Like the way Sinner played today and how good Sinner was, he was at a higher level than Alcaraz. So if we see today's Sinner versus today's Alcaraz, Sinner wins. Worried for Djokovic, no match fitness? We'll see what he looks like next week. Crazy to think that the last 4 big tournaments have Alcaraz and Sinner played. I know, right? We're so lucky. This never happens. It never happens. This never happens. Never happens. Well, it didn't. We thought it would never happen, but now we get Sinkeraz round 4 in 2025. They've played so many times already, but now we get it. The 4th time this year. I mean, what they played in May, June, July, August. They played 4 times in 4 months. Once a month, we're getting this match, which is super, super random, or super rare, I should say. Because they didn't play for 6 months, mainly because Sinner was banned. But they played in Beijing, and then we didn't get to see them play until Rome. So we had 8 months of no Sinkeraz, and then now they played 4 times in 4 months. It's crazy. This is like Fadal in the 2000s. Yeah, a bit like that, yeah. A little bit, yeah. But except it's happening on every surface. Not just on the clay and the grass. It's happening literally everywhere. All the courts. 4th time in 4 months and 3rd different surface. Sinner and Alcaraz are starting to have Fadal vibes. Oh yeah, Sinkeraz is Fadal 2025. I'm leaning Sinner because again, I think Sinner is on a hard court for sure. If it was on clay, maybe Alcaraz, but I'm probably gonna go Sinner. Sinner on a hard court. What is the hard court record between them? Because I know Alcaraz won a couple of close matches on hard courts against Sinner, but what's their record on hard courts? Indian Wells as well. It's gone the way of Alcaraz. So Sinner won. So last time they played on hard courts was in Beijing last year, and Alcaraz got the win. But remember, it was a very close 3-setter. And then Indian Wells last year went to Alcaraz in 3 sets. Then Beijing semifinals 2023 and Miami went to Sinner. So that's what, 2-2. Indian Wells was 3-2. And then Paris Indoors, first time they played was 4-2 Alcaraz on hard courts. Paris Indoors first match they played in 2021. And US Open, sorry. So 5-2. Jesus. So really that one-sided? Hang on. Yeah. Because Sinner's won twice on hard courts, twice on grass, once on clay. And Alcaraz has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5-2 on. Yeah, that's crazy. Still going Sinner though, but holy hell, that's wild. That is wild. That is a wild thing. Oh, 6 King Slam 5-3. Okay. I'm still leaning towards Sinner though. Because of again, Indian Wells, much slower than this. And then pre-2023 or pre-24, Sinner wasn't the same. So Sinner's much better than when they first played. So I'm going to go with, I'm probably going to lean Sinner, but we'll see. And also I've seen better, I've seen Sinner play better this week. He's been better this week. Revenge will be served in the Cincy final like in 2023. Okay. I hope it's a quality match, as good as the Beijing final. Oh yeah, it'll be high quality. They bring out the best in each other. Why bother with rounds? Just play Synchronized final. It's unbelievable. Kudos to both. I'm a Carlos fan. I feel he will go further because he's so unpredictable. Okay. So I guess Sinner is still the favorite to win the US Open. Yeah. Since US Open, Sinner, different player. Yeah. He couldn't breathe. He sold the game. Okay, well, cry less. But you can't win them all, right? You put the bet on, blame yourself. Cincinnati courts are fast or slow? They're fast. Fast, like medium fast. Which should be good for Sinner. It should help Sinner. It should be better for Sinner's game, I think. Do you think Alcaraz will ever win 3 slams in a year? Yeah, he could. Out of loyalty, it takes Zverev for the US Open if he's healthy. Okay. It might depend on the speed of the court. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think Sinner will. I think Sinner will win. Do you think Zverev-Shelton is turning into a rivalry like Fritz-Zverev, where one can't beat the other? No, I don't think we should. The last Shelton match with Zverev, I don't think we can even count that because they both looked, well, Shelton looked terrible because he was so tired. So I want to see Zverev versus Shelton at the US Open, both fit and ready, because I don't think that last one counted. And also the clay match didn't count. Come on. We've got to see them playing. I want to see Shelton fit and full of energy against Zverev on a hard court. I don't want to see them play on clay because that's his advantage Zverev anyway. And Shelton right now is much better than he was 12 months ago. So that's what I want to see. I want to see a fresh Zverev and a fresh Shelton play each other on hard courts. Alcaraz needs a good first serve percentage, though. His serve was all over the place at Wimbledon last time. Yeah, he's going to have to serve well. Alcaraz should have played Toronto? Maybe. Oh, we're back to win for the ladies? Okay. What do you think about Sabalenka's performance this year? She's been great. Just hasn't won enough big trophies, but she's still had a great year. I reckon Sinner will win the tournament without dropping a set. Okay. Yeah, chat. I've said this so many times, right? Every time these guys play, there will be a time where one of these guys will rip the other one apart, right? We've never seen it. Every match they've played, from the first match they played, it has been either 3 sets or close straight sets or 5 sets. We have never seen one of these guys win in a routine straight sets 2-2 against the other. It will happen. And maybe it happens on Monday. I hope not. I hope we keep getting epics. But every time they've played, it's gone. They've played a tiebreak or they've played 3 sets or 5 sets. Or 4 sets, in a Grand Slam. We've never had either guy embarrass the other one, right? We will, because it happens. We saw Nadal do that to Federer. We saw Federer do that to Djokovic. We saw Djokovic do that to Nadal. We've seen, with the great players, there's never going to be every match they play is going to be great. There's always going to be one that's going to be like, ooh, that was... That was rough. That was a tough one. yeah, Rome was straight sets, but it was the first set was close. Like the first set could have gone either way, and then Alcaraz got away with the second. But also, Sinner was coming back for the first time in a long time, whatever. But the first set was close. I'm talking like 6-2, 6-2. We're going to get one of those matches in this rivalry. Eventually. One of these guys is going to just wreck the other one and they don't have a chance. I don't know when we're going to get it, but we're going to get it. And I don't know who's going to do it first. I don't know if Alcaraz is going to is going to beat down Sinner or if Sinner is going to do it. I think right now, if I had to pick, I'd say Sinner is more likely to put a beating on Alcaraz in straight sets, which would be super disappointing for all of us. But also, I think Sinner's more likely to do it because Sinner does do it more to other players, right? Whereas Alcaraz doesn't do that to other players. He doesn't really beat down players as much. Sinner's a little more ruthless. But yeah, it's going to happen. And the more matches we get that are epic, the more likely it's going to happen. You know what I mean? The odds of it happening in the next one or the next one, they're not going to always be epic, We've been on a streak of great matches with these guys. Eventually, we're going to get a 2-2. We're going to get a 1-2. It's going to be and that's going to be interesting in itself, right? It's going to be interesting because that's going to be a moment where we haven't seen that before. Is it going to be Monday? I hope not. I hope it's not ever, but prepare yourselves. It could happen. We could get a match where it's like, whoa, one of them just go, I'm better than you. At the moment, it's like, oh, you better, I'm better. Someone's going to run away and just be like, I'm better than you. That's it. I'm going to put my foot down. And if it's Sinner on Monday does that, the narrative turns from Alcaraz is the only guy that beats Sinner to Sinner is unbeatable. The narrative will change if Sinner does put a beating on Alcaraz because it's going to be like, oh, Wimbledon changed things, right? That's what everyone's going to run with. And then it's kind of true, though. But then everybody's going to start, then the question is going to be, what can Alcaraz do to turn that around? So we'll see. Or if Alcaraz gets the win, and depending on how he gets the win, we can then talk about, okay, well, was Wimbledon a one-off? Why isn't Sinner, why can't Sinner figure it out? Why has he only beaten him once in the last 5 or whatever, The glazing is exhausting. Ella, why do you say one good comment and then 2 bad? Are you all right? God, I couldn't imagine someone who's excited about something and having shows joy of something and then going, yeah, that's silly and what you're doing is annoying. I'll be like, man, why are you going to kill everyone's buzz, man? God, it's terrible, man. I hope you have a better day. I hope your day gets better. God. Can't help myself? Yeah, but you should change that. You should try and change that. It's really not fun. It's really not cool. We don't need to realize that not every Alcaraz match will be record-breaking like the French Open. Exactly. I mean, Wimbledon wasn't as good as the French, but it was still damn good. And every time they're played, if you look at their record, even there's been 6-1s and 6-1s and whatever, but if you look at their record, every time they're played, it's been close. It's been competitive. There's been 0 non-competitive matches. We haven't had one, we haven't had a beatdown yet. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Rome wasn't competitive. The first set was. Go watch it and look at the friggin' score. 7-6 means it was a close first set. That's competitive. Both guys got to the tiebreak. What are you talking about? 7-6 equals competitive. What? Hello? And then 6-1, Alcaraz ran away with the second. Yes. But it's probably the least competitive match they've played recently. But it's not what I'm saying. It's not the same as what I'm saying. It wasn't a beatdown. I'm talking about Djokovic Alcaraz last year's Wimbledon final where Djokovic, yeah, okay, he made a cameo at the end, but the first 2 sets of that match, no shot. I'm talking about that. We haven't had that yet. Where the one guy had no chance against the other. We've never had that. Not from start to finish. We'll get it eventually, but not yet. Beijing 2023 was same scoreline as Rome, but in favor of Sinner. Yeah. Still not a beatdown. Not the same as what... I'm talking about a 6-2, 6-2. Sinner broke in the first game and he broke at the end and he never was in trouble. Or Alcaraz, 6-1, 6-2, and he goes from start to finish, dominates from the start and never gave Sinner a chance. Like, we've never seen that. It's never happened. It will happen. And when it does, it'll be very interesting. Be a very interesting situation. And right now, if I had to say who's going to do that to the other, I would say Sinner would do it to Alcaraz first. Because Sinner does that. You know? Sinner is ruthless. But if Alcaraz did it to Sinner, that would be a statement. Right now. Stop this beatdown talk, so childish. Oh. No. I'm sorry. I forgot that the fun police are out in action today. What is it? Saturday night? The fun police are just like, hang on, whoa. Can we all just relax? We're having too much fun. We're going too crazy with the conversation. We need to relax. Fun police. You agree. Okay, well, fun police are like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, officer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for dreaming and having fun. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lock me up and throw away the key. I'm sorry. Take me away. Sinner felt the heat today. Alcaraz's physique is 10 tiers above Sinner. Okay. But are they playing in the day or are they going to be playing later in the afternoon? And what's the weather going to be like on Monday? Is it going to be stinking hot? We'll see. You're right, though. Sinner did look... In the second set, was breathing a little pretty heavy. And Alcaraz never looks tired. Except when he cramps, but that's it doesn't happen anymore. Do you remember that Sinner had blisters and came back from a 3-month ban to Rome? Yeah, exactly. How dare you do in your own stream what you want? I know. It's terrible. I am so upset with myself for that. 3 p.m. they play on Monday. Okay, so that's prime time heat. Isn't the men's on first, or is the ladies on first? I think the men's is on first, right? Because they've got that's how the schedule's been. Finals at 3 p.m. I'm guessing women's first. Yeah, but the women's are playing tomorrow, so then the ladies is tomorrow, so then maybe the ladies are second. I don't know. Mid-80s on Monday, so that's not super hot, but it might be humid, which is just as tough. It's either going to be 6-3, 6-4 Sinner or 3 tiebreaks Alcaraz. Yeah, I agree. It's either going to be Alcaraz in 3 or Sinner in straights. If it goes 3, it's got to be Alcaraz, right? If it goes the distance, it's going to be Alcaraz. If it's straight sets, it'll be Sinner. I can see those things happen, like either of those two things. If Alcaraz beats Sinner in straights, that would be a shock to me. And if Sinner won in a long 3-setter and outlast Alcaraz, it wouldn't be a shock, but that would be interesting. But I think it's more likely that 2 sets Sinner, 3 sets Alcaraz. They're probably the most likely. Sinner likes the heat, though. Alcaraz struggled in the heat at Wimbledon, I remember. Did he? Can't remember that. I don't think anyone likes the heat. But Alcaraz didn't seem as bothered tonight the humidity as Sinner did this afternoon. But then again, Sinner had a higher level match, and it was he had to play at a higher level, which is more draining. Whereas Alcaraz didn't have to play as crazy as he did as Sinner did, or as high level as Sinner did. So maybe that was the energy he didn't have to expel as much energy, Alcaraz, especially at the end there, because Zverev wasn't running for anything. The result doesn't influence what happens at the US Open. Of course it does. What do you mean? Of course it does. When you think if Alcaraz beats Sinner, that doesn't change things? Of course it does. Like right now, okay, let's set the scene right now. And then I'm going to get the hell out of here because I'm hungry. Let's set the scene, right? Favorite for the US Open right now, if I can find them. US Open odds. Men's US Open odds. Sinner's the favorite, followed by Alcaraz, followed by Djokovic, then Shelton, then Zverev, then Draper, and then Fritz. And it's not equal favorite. Sinner is the favorite, and Alcaraz is the second favorite by a bit. And then it's Djokovic by a mile. So it's two guys, but one guy is ahead of the other. Like, definitely. If Alcaraz wins tomorrow, or Monday, that changes. It either makes them even, or Alcaraz is the favorite. It does change things. If Sinner wins, because we all think that Alcaraz is the only guy that can beat Sinner, if Sinner beats the only threat that he has, at least the only threat he's had lately, then that makes Sinner even more of a favorite. So it does change things. It's going to change things. And it also depends on how they beat each other. You know, if one of them, wins in 3, depending on who, things change. It's going to change things. It's if Zverev made the final and played Sinner, then I would agree. Nothing changes. Probably, unless Zverev beats Sinner, but I don't think Zverev becomes the favorite by beating Sinner. I think Zverev just becomes more of a favorite, like a top 3 favorite. But that final is huge. At the end of that final, things will look different. Or, in Sinner's case, he will improve his chances even more, depending on what the result. If it's 3 sets, Sinner, then maybe it gives Alcaraz a little bit more. Maybe he closes the gap even if he loses in a close 3 set. I don't know, but it definitely changes things. Definitely changes things. It's still pretty wild to me how much of a difference does surface makes in sport. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's the beauty of tennis. There's different surfaces, different conditions, different weather, different altitudes. Yeah, it's a wild game. Different crowds, All right. I'm out of here. I'm going to go and live my life. And then we're going to do it all again tomorrow. So tomorrow, what have we got going on tomorrow? So tomorrow we've got semifinals of the ladies. We start with Swiatek Rybakina. We finish with Kudermetova Paolini. So make sure you join us for that to find out who's going to play the final of Cincinnati for the ladies. It's weird that they've sort of gone this way about it, because usually it's the men's event that starts. But I think it's because Canada, the women finished first, so then they started the women first in Cincy to kind of... I don't know. Maybe it's because of that. It's why the ladies are playing second. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, it doesn't matter why. It doesn't have to make sense. We're watching it. Tomorrow, semifinals. Then the finals on Monday. Alcaraz versus Sinner, which again we get for the 4th time this year, which is just crazy. The 4th time in 4 months. Like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. I don't even think Federer and Nadal played 4 times in 4 months. In at least 20 years ago. Maybe 15 years ago they did, but not recently. Maybe Djokovic Nadal did, but I can't remember. So spoiled. We are so spoiled. So like, if you are like, please, if you're we don't need the fun police Monday, right? Take the day off, right? If you're a part of the Fun Police, if you're a volunteer at the Fun Police, just put your badge down and let it slide. All right, let us live. Monday, please. If you just hide just put your badge away. We don't need security for the finals. We're all good. You can stay home. It's all good. Have a day off. Go do something else. Anyways, we've got Alcaraz making the final again, second time in 3 years. He played Djokovic last time. Now he's going to play Sinner this time. 6-4, 6-3. He takes out Zverev. We will keep an eye on what Zverev says in the press conference. We'll keep an eye on what Zverev looks like in the mixed doubles next week and see whether or not this is an ongoing issue with him or if it's just something that something that messed him up this week. Hopefully it's not something that is ongoing. You can manage it and get back on top of whatever it is. But Alcaraz Sinner, we'll see you on Monday. If you're not coming back tomorrow, that's a shame, but I'll see you whenever.